Hello, this is Professor C.P. Prakasham. I will be discussing about factor analysis by using the SPSS. What is factor analysis? Factor analysis is a technique that is used to reduce large number of variables into fewer number of factors. It is a technique for investigating whether large number of variables are highly correlated variables of interest or linearly related to a smaller number of uncorrelated and unobservable factors. What is a factor? Factor is different from variable. A factor is an amalgamation of a set of highly correlated variables, and a factor is different from group. The belongings of a variable to a factor is determined by the strength of representation of the variables into that factor. The strength will be decided on the basis of some mathematical formulas and other things. The unobserved factors are not directly measurable from the sample data or derived from the correlation matrix of a set of variables. How to derive these factors? There are various methods there. That is called method of extraction of factors. For extraction of factors, SPSS will allow 7 methods. One is the principal component analysis method, unweighted least square method, generalized least square method, maximum likelihood, principal axis factoring, alpha factoring, and image factoring. Among all these things, most popular method is used is the conventional factor analysis in the principal component analysis is the bestly used in that. What are the assumptions involved? One of the foremost assumption is that the variable should not have, observation should not have outliers. Factor analysis assumes that there is no outliers in the data. The variable should be normally distributed. That is, there has to be univariate and multivariate normality within the data. Linearity. Factor analysis is also based on linearity assumption. Non-linear variables can also be used, but after a proper transformation and making them into a linear variables. The error term, that is unique factor, is assumed to be normally distributed with mean 0 and variance 1. And also factor analysis require one of the assumption is that interval data are assumed for the factor analysis, but non-interval data also can be used in a different fashion. That approach is different. Adequate sample size is one of the most important thing. In factor analysis, the cases must be greater than the factors. That is, the number of observations should be more than the number of variables. Greater than that. The number of observations is at least 10 times the number of variables in the analysis and 30 times the number of factors considered. For example, there are 20 variables are there, 5 factors are there, then the minimum sample size is decided as 20 multiplied by 10, 200, or 20 multiplied by 5 factors, 100, or if there are 30 observations are there, 5 multiplied by 30, 150. Among this, whichever is the maximum, then we have to consider, here it is 200, that 200 observations should be there. In some cases, small sample is sufficient if many factor loading scores are greater than 0.08. That factor loadings we will discuss in the coming slides. Steps involved in factor analytical procedure. The first step is the computation of the correlation matrix. By calculating the correlation matrix determines the appropriateness of the variable's entry into the factor, and also the sample adequacy. That SPSS will give you the suitability of sample adequacy. by different methods. Step 2, factor extraction. It determines the number of factors necessary to represent the data. Step 3, rotation. With the mathematical procedure, factor structure is made for better interpretation. There are a number of rotation methods are there, mathematical methods are there. One is that no rotation method, Varimax rotation method, Quartimax rotation method, direct Oberlin rotation method, and Promax rotation method. In conventional factor analysis, mostly Varimax rotation method is used, which is a popular method in that, but other methods also used according to the factor loadings. Step 4 is the last step, is the computation of the scores for each factor. We will see that how to solve the factor analysis by using one example. A researcher is interested to know the contributory factors influencing antenatal care practice in a community, collected the data from a large survey and identified a set of 13 factors as given in table number 1, which will be in the next one. The selection of variables depends upon the following conceptual framework. One is the availability of health facilities, availability of the resources, and approachability of the resources, and utilization of the resources. This is what the conceptual framework a researcher has been designed. Here gives the utilization of the ANC services on the basis of the availability. It describes as the health manpower and equipment and drugs availability, resources for the ANC, antenatal care, and also utilization of the ANC case. Then let us examine the list of variables which has been considered. That is the V1, V2, V3, V4, percentage of villages with any government health facilities, and next one is the availability of the doctors, and third one is the Anganwadi workers, and fourth one is the ASHA and other things. And next one is the availability of the drugs and medicines, equipments, and as well as essential drugs, and government facilities for ANC, private facilities for the ANC, community based facilities for the ANC. That is the availability of the facilities. Last one is the percentage of women who receive the ANC for the first trimester, that is the utilization factors, and with 3 or more ANC and received 100 plus IFA tablets, and also the full total antenatal checkup. When you look at that, the category of the variables, V1 to V4 will give you the health manpower, V5, V6 will give you the essential drugs and equipments, and also the other factors, that is the V7, V8 and V9 will give you the resources for the ANC, and V10, 11, 12, 13 will give you the antenatal care services. Like that we can give the broader categories of that in Then examining the data. After looking at the data, as a first step, what we have to examine is the outliers. Therefore, the outliers and missing cases. For this purpose, we have to calculate the descriptive statistics and coefficient of variation for the identifying the outliers. In S phases, you can go to the analyze, descriptive statistics, descriptive, then you will get the mean, mode, median, skewness, kurtosis and other things. Accordingly, you can also have the histogram and identify whether it is a outliers exist or not. And there is a plot called Q-Q plots are there, which will give you the fair idea about the outliers. But there is another approach is there through residual analysis, that is the discussed later. Then step 2, correlation matrix. One of the important in the factor analysis is that correlation matrix. It starts with the correlation matrix only. Therefore, the analysis of correlation matrix will indicate the appropriateness of the application of factor model to the data, whether it is significant or not, and how many variables to be selected, how it is correlated and all these things. The SPSS will provide you correlation matrix, its significancy and other two summary indices to evaluate the data for sample adequacy and significance of the correlation. That SPSS will give you, that we will discuss here in the next one. Then how to select the variables to include in the factor analysis. The suitability of the variables for factor analysis can be assessed by calculating the correlation matrix. Look at the correlation matrix which has been calculated and given below. Examining the correlation matrix, the variables that have the larger number of correlation coefficients in the range minus 0.3 less than or less than or equal to plus 0.3 will be excluded. This is the most important thing. Variables that have a larger number of correlation coefficients that are in the range between minus 0.3 to plus 0.3 will be excluded. Initially, you count the number of R, that is correlation coefficient values, column wise, which are not in the range of minus 0.3 to plus 0.3 by less 1, and indicate that in the last row. You can see here in the last row it has been given that last row is labeled as the NVC, that is number of variables correlated. As a thumb rule, if the NVC is less than 1/5 of the variables minus 1, 1/5 of the total variables minus 1, that variable lack a patterned relationship with the other variables and it may be removed from the analysis. Let us look at the example. We are having the 13 variables here, and column wise, if you look at this correlation coefficients which are between minus 0.3 to plus 0.3, larger than that we will be selecting. Here you see that in this example the cutoff NVC number is 13 by 5. There are 13 variables are there, divided by 1/5 of that minus 1 is 1.6. That is approximately 2 variables are allowed to exclude whose NVC is low. When you look at the last column, the V2, V5 and V6 are the 3 variables where the NVC is less than, very less, least among the total number of variables. Therefore, since it is allowed to exclude only 2 variables, initially we will try to delete V2 and V6 and carry on with the factor analysis. Therefore, out of 13 variables, on the basis of the correlation matrix, we have decided to select only 11 variables suitable for the factor analysis. Then coming back to calculate by using the SPSS. After selecting the number of variables to incorporate in the factor analysis, we will go to the SPSS, analyze, dimension reduction and factor. When you look at that, then click factor, then you will get the sub editor which is having the factor analysis. In that you will have the variables in the left side, and by right side you click the arrow, bring it to that, and see here, since we have deleted 2 variables, that is the doctors availability and essential drugs, that is V2 and V6 we have deleted, and other variables have incorporated. After incorporating it, then you see the right side there is a 5 buttons are there: descriptive, extraction, rotation, score and option. These are the important buttons, or these are the options where we have to identify and run the factor analysis. First of all, we will go to the each description, extraction, rotation, score and option, how it will work and what is the output for the from the fact. Then coming back to that, descriptive. Once you click descriptive, you will get a sub editor, that factor analysis descriptive. It is having a correlation matrix. Down below you can see that tick mark determinants, tick mark, KMO, Bartlett's test of sphericity, and anti-images. Why we are using this descriptive statistics most important? In this Bartlett's test of sphericity and Kaiser-Meyer-Oaklin KMO measure are the of sampling adequacy, or both tests can be used to determine factorability into the matrix as a whole. By using Bartlett's test of sphericity is larger and significant and KMO measures greater than 0.06, then the factor analysis can be carried out with the selected variables. If it is not, if Bartlett's test is not significant and KMO is less than greater than, that is less than 0.6, then factor analysis cannot be carried out. Let us see the output by clicking that button, then you will get the output for the existing data. KMO is having 0.622 and Bartlett's test is having significant. That shows clearly the number of observations from the above SPSS output. The result shows that KMO is greater than 0.6 and Bartlett's test is highly significant, indicates that sample is adequate and the number of variables are suitable for carrying out the factor analysis. Once this is satisfied, then only we can proceed further. Then there is another method also there, anti-image, which will calculate by the SPSS. The anti-image correlation matrix is used to assess the sampling adequacy of each variable. The measure of sample adequacy also displayed on the sampling accuracy that falls below the accepted level of significance. Therefore, that has to be, if it is less than that, if it is not significant, that variable has to be excluded from the analysis. But anti-image correlation, examining it in detail, will become a little difficult for the researcher. Therefore, most of them are using this KMO and Bartlett's test for specificity for the variables inclusion as well as the observations adequacy. They can use that. Comes the extraction. When you click extraction, you will find the method. There are various methods are there in the factor extraction. One is the principal component method, unweighted least square method, generalized least square method, maximum likelihood method, and other things which you have already come across. But most popular method is the principal component method. Click that, and after clicking that, you can tick mark in the display, that is the radio button, tick mark, automatically click and you will get the unrotated factors solution as well as the scree plot. Down below you can see that how much to be extracted. The extracted variable, you can decide the limit for that. Therefore, based on the eigenvalues, if it is greater than 0.1, that is by default itself, we will select that for continuation of the analysis. Once you click the scree plot, you can see right side, it will plot automatically a graph that shows that there are variables have been plotted on the basis of the eigenvalues. Then whichever is having a highest eigenvalue, that will be the first factor. Next later one is the second, third and fourth and so on. Since we have given the eigenvalues greater than 1, then if you draw a line, the intersection point will give you the total components which are selected and which are the highly explained. Then how to identify these factors? Then we will examine the next table number 1. Here this is the output. The total variancy explained by each factor or component. If you look at the left side, initial eigenvalue, middle one, extraction sum of squares loading, and last one is the rotation factors. Rotation sum of squared loadings. This rotation has been done by the Weierbach's method. That we will come across. The above table shows the actual factors that were extracted. the rotation sum of squared loadings shows only those factors that met the cutoff point. Earlier we have got the cutoff point as a point 1 as an eigenvalue. That shows that. In this case, there were 4 factors with eigenvalues greater than 1. Therefore, the percentage of variance column tells how much the total variability in all these variables together can be accounted for by each of these summary scale factors. Here it shows that 80%, that is 80.903% variation is explained by 4 factors which have been clubbed into 11 variables are clubbed into 4 factors that are explaining 80% of the variation. But if you take the first factor, it explains 22.796 percentages, second factor 22.521, third factor 19.484, and fourth factor 16.160. The last column in the rotation sum of squares loading will give us the cumulative figure, and all put together 4 factors are explaining 80.903% of variation in determining this group. Then coming back to that, the next one, third one is the rotation. But this is a very important one. In this, why we need rotation is that it shows it will club all the variables which are having the same correlation into one set of factors. Therefore, there are many methods are there. The popular method and useful method for the factor analysis when you are using principal component, Varimax method is suitable for that. But other methods also can be discussed later. And the next one is the rotation solution. Some of them are interested to know the loading of the plots, that can be tick mark also. But here by default it will take into maximum iteration for convergency is a 25 iterations. That can be reduced or increased, but keeping as a default will be better. Then say continue. Here one shows that component matrix is developed, that is the factor loadings. Then this component matrix shows, the above component matrix table shows the Pearson correlation between the items and the components, the items and the factors, we can say. These correlations are called factor loadings. Nothing but factor loadings have been given as a correlation coefficients of the variables which are in that particular factors. When you look at this component, the table, they are given as a 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the 4 factors which you have seen. Screen plot also we have seen that there are 4 factors have been selected. From each factor, the left side you can see the variables which have been contributing and the relation of the correlation between the variables in that particular factor. But down below you can see that there is a one variable or 2 variables which are having explaining in 3 factors. That is called the cross loadings are there. Because more than one factor, the variables are included in 2 or 3 factors also. Therefore, this cross loadings explaining them very difficult as a unique factor. Therefore, we require a rotation, mathematical procedure of rotation that will be used by using in this method, Varimax method will give. Then next one is the factor scores. These factor scores are developed by normalizing the variables. In SPSS, factor scores can be derived by clicking the scores button and tick save as a variable. Because once you save as a variable, since these are the normalized variables, observations, that can be used as a one variable in the regression analysis. For the present purpose, for principal component analysis, all the 3 methods which will give you the same score values, whether it is regression, Bartlett, Anderson, Rubin, same tick mark it any one method, but the results will be the same. Once you say continue and then click, then the scores of each component is stored as a variable as a FAC1-1, FAC2-2, FAC3-3, FAC4-1. Since there are only 4 factors are there in our example, it will be stored as a 4. But if you are having a, let us think that if you are having 11 factors are there, it will be stored as 11. As many components generated, so many will be added as a variable. That is most important. This can be used for the further multivariate analysis. That can be used as a standardized score and can be used as a variable separately factor. Then last one is the options. Options means it will calculate all the factor loadings and by using the varimax method, but we want that neatly displayed. Therefore, coefficient display format. Here we will assume and tick mark sorted by size according to the size of the coefficients, as well as we will require a cutoff point. Here we have selected as a 0.55, absolute values below 0.55 you please suppress it, but as a default it is given as a 0.1. You can choose as a researcher, they can choose it at what cutoff point is required, because otherwise we have to see the values and then make the cutoff point. That we can decide. Therefore, here it has been decided as a 0.55. Once it is given, then see the output table. This output table is having a, earlier we have seen that 4 factors have been selected. Then each factor which has been rotated factors and the factor loadings are given, and we can observe there is a step 1, 2, 3, 4 steps wise it is coming. Since we have selected 0.55 as a cutoff point, all the variables which are having the values more than 0.55 has been listed in the table, which will give a clear understanding of that. There is no cross loadings between one factor to the another factor by the variables. Then these variables have been identified with our table given earlier, and give right side we have given the number V12, V5, V13 like that. Then coming back to that, factor 1 is having a V12, V5, V13 and V1. Therefore, this is the either component or factor. We can give a particular name. Therefore, say by examining the variables 100 plus tablets and adequate equipment, full ANC, government hospital facilities, then a researcher has to decide what name to be given for this 4 set of variables into one factor. This factor name it has been given is a infrastructure and equipment, that is V12, V5, V13 and V1. Second one is having V7, V8, V10, that is the government facilities for the ANC, private facilities for the ANC and ANC in the first trimester of pregnancy. It is given as a resources. This judgment of giving factor name depends upon the researcher's literature review and his understanding with the problem. The component number 3, utilization of that is a V11 and V9. And last one is the health manpower, it is given, Anganwadi worker and ASHA it is given, suitability. Therefore, when you look at this last table, rotated component matrix, this will give you the factors and related variables into that particular factor, and you can give the name of the particular factor. For these factors, the scores related, as like we have discussed into that, you can see the factor scores as a variable in the data set. You can observe in the variable view in the SPSS. When you look at it here, these are the 4 factors. These 4 factors are referred as a factor score, factor FAC1, that is 1 score, as the labeled as infrastructure variables which you have done, and its contribution is 22.71 from the table number 1. Similarly, factor 2 is 22.52 from the table 1 last column in the right side, last but one column in the right side. Then factor 3 will give us the utilization factor, and factor 4 will give the health manpower factor, and the contribution is 16 point this. Generally, a researcher will select whichever is having a highest percentage of variation, rotated sum of squares of the variation is there, that factor will be selected. But further, some of the researchers are interested to take all the factors and percentage of variation by giving the weights for each factor. How to do that? Therefore, how to use these derived factors? How to use these derived factors? The derived factor score, which has been labeled as a FAC1, -1, etc., can be used as a variable directly for the regression analysis. It is also practiced to calculate the composite score by considering all the variables. How to do that? I have given a label here, F total equals to, that is the composite score of all the variables. First factor multiplied by the factor loadings, that is Fi, divided by total factor loadings. Second factor, again factor loadings of particular factor divided by the total loadings. Like that we can see that. From where we will get the factor loadings? From the table number 1, right side, last but one column, we can get that. We have already discussed that 80% of the variation is explained by the 4 variables. Each variable is contributing different factor loadings. Therefore, we will use the SPSS syntax as follows. Compute is the command. Since we have taken as F total as the total score of all the variables, then first factor multiplied by the percentage of variation which has explained divided by the total percentages. Here it is given. These values are derived from the table number 1. Second line will be variable label. That is a command. F total I have given as the aggregate factor of utility of health. That researcher can decide what name to be given, what label to be given, and all these things. But the red marks refers to the commands. Execute, put a dot, and then comes to the rank, that is a command. F total slash n tiles into 5 in 2, that is a command. What it does that, first of all, after calculating this score for each individual case, it will calculate the ranks, and from that ranks it will divide into 5 segments, and then it will be labeled whatever label you will give, that is the utility of health. And variable name will say utility of health index, and value label you can see that since it is given as a 5 divisions, then you can say utility health. 1 is the poor, 2 is the poorest, and 2 is the poor, 3 is the middle, 4 is the better, and 5 is the best. And format will give 1 decimal or 2 decimal, whatever be, and execute. Therefore, this will give us the entire factors which we have derived 4 factors, as well as by clubbing into that as a total factor, and for each variable, for each factor, for the total score which have been derived into ranked into that, and then grouped into 4 or 5 categories. And how to standardize this and how to use these scores, if you want to know further, then you can see the reference number 6 which is given at the end of this document. Then comes to the limitations of factor analysis. Limitations. It is difficult to naming of factors. Here we have got the 4 factors, and what name to be given, that depends upon the researcher. In factor analysis, some may load into more than one factor, that is cross loading. One of the solution for this cross loading is that they can use, instead of Varamax method, they can use another rotation method and see whether the cross loadings will be eliminated or not. If that is not eliminated, then they have to go back about the correlation, and then you have to go see the residuals, outliers, and all these things. You have to check your data and revise with all the assumptions. If the observed variables are completely unrelated, the factor analysis is unable to produce a meaningful pattern. Therefore, First and foremost thing in the factor analysis is that the correlation coefficient. If they are not related to the factor, then that is called the factor loadings, then the factor analysis should not be carried out further. Others limitations are there. Factor analysis cannot be carried out with large number of outliers, uncorrelated and highly correlated variables. Further, if it is not satisfied by a KMO and Bartlett test, factor analysis should not be. End note. The main aim of factor analysis is to reduce a large number of variables into small number of factors. In this example, 13 variables reduced into 4 factors. But actually, though we have selected 13 variables, we have identified 11 variables to enter into the factor analysis method. Therefore, the 11 variables has reduced into 4 factors. By using the rotation method, rotated component matrix, which gives component scores derived. These scores can be used for the subsequent analysis to represent the values of factors in lieu of the original variables. Therefore, that can be used as a variable for further multiple regression analysis or regression analysis or any other analysis. Then comes that there are few important concepts are there in the factor analysis. There are 2 methods of factor analysis. Many are there, but 2 methods are important. One is the exploratory factor analysis and another is the confirmatory factor analysis. Exploratory factor analysis assumes that any indicator of variable may be associated with any factor. This is the most common factor analysis used by the researcher, and it is not based on any priori theory. This is what we have used now for the current analysis. The next one is the confirmatory factor analysis. Confirmatory factor analysis is used to determine the factors and factor loadings as a measured variable, and it is used to confirm what is expected to on the basis of our pre-established theory. Confirmatory analysis, factor analysis assumes that each factor is associated with a specific subset of measured variables. CFA commonly used 2 approaches. One is the traditional method and another is the ACM approach. You see here, when we have selected the factor analysis, we have assumed that correlations within the factor is related and between the factors are unrelated. That's what it is assumed. That is the difference between explanatory factor analysis and confirmatory factor analysis. Confirmatory factor analysis also assumes that it determines the factors and factor loadings of measurable variables and confirms what is expected or already predicted values also. Therefore, that is the difference between these two. Then come to our Bartlett's test. This test is the crucial test which will decide whether the observations are adequate or not, sample size is adequate or not. Bartlett's test of specificity is used to test the hypothesis that the correlation matrix is an identity matrix. What is the correlation identity matrix? Identity matrix refers to all diagonal terms are 1 and all off diagonal terms are 0. That means the variable is correlated by itself and it is uncorrelated with other variables. That is the meaning of that. If the correlation matrix is an identity matrix, that means that all variables in the matrix are unrelated to each other. But Bartlett's test derives all items are perfectly correlated within themselves, that is 1 1 1, the diagonal values, and have some level of correlation with the other items, minimum level. If they are not correlated with the other items, then the variable cannot be put into the same factor. That is possible for grouping that, and it will test that Barclay's test and suitability, and it will give the significance. Next one is the KMO test, which will give you the sampling adequacy, whether our sample is adequate or not. For each variable in the model and and also for the complete model, it will give the sample adequacy. It is a statistical measure to determine how suited data is for the factor analysis. Therefore, it will give a measure KMO equals to sum of squares of all correlation coefficients divided by sum of squares of all correlation coefficient plus sum of squares of all partial correlation coefficients. There is a full literature is available in the references which have been given. One can go through that. The calculated value of KMO can be interpreted in the following table. KMO is greater than 0.90, it is a marvelous, and the sampling adequacy is marvelous. But between 0.80 to KMO 0.90, it is meticulous. The range is 0.70 to 0.80, it is average. 0.60 to 0.70 is mediocre, and 0.50 to 0.60 is terrible, and less than 0.5 is unacceptable. Generally, researchers will decide accordingly, and here it has been taken into consideration as a 0.6 will be the adequate, and more than that 0.6 is suitable for carrying out the factor analysis. If it is less than 0.5 KMO, that means sample is inadequate, and further calculation of factor analysis is not suitable for that. Then a list of selected references are given here. One can go through that, and you can see reference number 6, which will give you understanding of the and using of the factor scores. Here he has described how to calculate the factor scores and what are the various steps for the factor scores standardization, weighted factor scores and all these things. Here the weighting method and normal method and other things is given. Other procedures will give you what are this factor analysis procedure. Reference number 2 will give you step-by-step approach of using the SAS system of the factor analysis. Like that, various authors have given very clearly how to calculate the factor analysis, but mostly they have discussed the mathematical procedure of the rotation procedures and all these things. For detailed study, these references are used. Thank you very much. Please like it, share it, subscribe it, and also press the bell and for subscribing to receive the updates. Thank you very much.